Alright, let's dive into a fascinating perspective on overcoming addiction, one that goes beyond just the physical and delves into the energetic and metaphysical realms. If you've been wrestling with addiction, you've likely encountered the frustrating reality that willpower and physical strategies sometimes fall short. This is often because you're trying to swim upstream against the very currents of the universe, so to speak. Until you address addiction on a deeper, metaphysical level, it can stubbornly persist in your physical experience. To truly break free, we need to tackle addiction across all three fundamental planes of existence: the mental, the spiritual, or emotional, and the physical. Think of it like a three-legged stool. If one leg is weak, the whole thing is unstable. Often, people focus heavily on the physical aspects of overcoming addiction: the routines, the avoidance, the external support. But if the energetic vibration of addiction still exists within you, it's like a persistent undercurrent. This vibrational pattern will eventually solidify into a frequency, and that frequency, in turn, will manifest as your continued reality of addiction. You can't simply outrun or out-hustle your own energetic frequency. Now, this might sound a bit unconventional, but on a metaphysical level, addiction can be understood as an entity, a specific energetic frequency that literally attaches itself to you. It creates the powerful illusion that something external, the substance, the behavior, the source of approval, will be able to fix an internal void. This entity isn't some malevolent being. It's more like a blind, persistent program seeking its own survival. The first crucial step in dismantling this entity's hold is to consciously alter your perception of what your addiction is and how you view it. Remember, reality at its core is subjective. There are no absolute truths other than what your subconscious mind accepts as true. If you've ingrained the belief that your addiction is an insurmountable monster, that's precisely how you will experience it. Your perception becomes your reality. All addictions, in their energetic essence, are like vines that have latched onto a particular void within you, an unmet need, an unresolved emotional wound. To truly uproot the addiction, you need to trace its origin point. What was the initial experience or series of experiences that created this void? When you can identify this energetic birthplace of your addiction, you can begin the alchemical process of transmuting it into something else, something that serves you. It's vital to broaden your understanding of what constitutes an addiction. It's not just about substances. Metaphysically, addiction is simply the necessity of relying on and continuously using an external frequency to alter your internal frequency, your emotional state. This could be drugs, alcohol, but it could also be the constant need for external approval, validation, love, even negative things like toxicity or hate. Anything you consistently reach for outside of yourself to change how you feel inside can be an addiction. The very nature of the universe operates on the principle of as within, so without. Your inner world creates your outer reality. Addiction flips this on its head by making you believe that the outer world can fix something within. It's like trying to make a mirror smile by smiling at the reflection. The mirror will only smile when you do first. Addiction presents a dangerous illusion that external fixes internal problems. Sometimes, battling addiction feels like a chess game, and in a way, it is. It's a strategic dance with this energetic entity of addiction. This entity, as we discussed, has two primary drives: to exist and to keep existing, even at your own expense. When you engage in your addiction, it's like feeding this entity, strengthening its hold. This entity of addiction is cunning. It doesn't just create the illusion that external things can fill your void. It also presents the powerful illusion that overcoming the addiction is incredibly difficult, that it's too powerful for you, even undefeatable. Why? Because your perception directly shapes your projection of reality. If you believe it's a monumental struggle, that's exactly what it will be. You and reality are interconnected. Your mental state dictates the world you experience. There's a constant loop at play. Your perception of your addiction as powerful, difficult, leads to your projection of that reality, which in turn reinforces your initial perception. When you label something as truth, it's just the truth that my addiction is so hard to beat. You are actually embedding that belief deeper into your subconscious mind, solidifying it as your experienced reality. Remember, in the realm of metaphysics, many truths are but half-truths. They are perspectives that have become solidified in your subconscious. There are no inherent, universal truths about your addiction other than what your subconscious mind has accepted as true. The moment you recognize that what you're calling truth is simply a potentiality you've solidified, you gain the power to change it. The first powerful step is to consciously alter your perception of your addiction. Instead of seeing it as an insurmountable obstacle, begin to see it for what it is on a metaphysical level, an entity attached to a void. The moment you shift your perception, the way you experience your addiction will begin to change. Think back to our conversation about self-doubt. Just like self-doubt can be a sign that your old energetic patterns are being challenged, the perceived difficulty of overcoming addiction is often a manifestation of the old frequency of addiction fighting to stay dominant. It's not necessarily a reflection of your inherent weakness. The addiction entity is smart. It knows that if it can convince you that it's too powerful, you'll be less likely to truly challenge it. It thrives on your feeling of being powerless. Every time you encounter your addiction and feel defeated, you reinforce its power in your reality. Just as you can choose to see self-doubt as a sign of progress, you can consciously choose to perceive your addiction differently. What if you started to see the urge not as an irresistible command, but as the entity's desperate attempt to survive? This shift in perspective can begin to dismantle its power. The addiction itself is a symptom. The underlying cause is the void within. Focusing solely on the addiction is like treating a fever without addressing the infection. Until you address and fill that internal void, the symptoms, the urges, the reliance on the external will likely persist. This void was created through a past experience or a culmination of experiences that left an emotional imprint. This could be feelings of unworthiness, lack of love, unsafety, guilt, shame, or a lack of affection. The best book to read to understand your addiction is often the past chapters of your own life. The subconscious mind is primarily programmed through emotion. Intense emotional experiences create deep grooves in your subconscious. To understand the origin of your void, you need to trace it back to a significant emotional event or pattern in your life. Here's a powerful technique for transformation. Recreate the origin experience in your mind, but this time, consciously imbue it with the opposite emotion of what you felt originally. Remember, the mind can't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, and the subconscious doesn't adhere to linear time. To effectively do this, get into a relaxed, meditative state, allowing your brain waves to shift into theta, the gateway to your subconscious mind. In this state of inner peace, you can access and reprogram those deeply ingrained emotional memories. Once you've accessed the memory of the origin of your void, consciously replace the original negative feeling with its positive opposite. If you felt rejected, vividly imagine feeling accepted. If you felt like a burden, immerse yourself in the feeling of being cherished. Replay this altered memory again and again in your mind, like a positive affirmation on repeat, until you begin to genuinely feel the corresponding emotions. This process begins to fill the void within you, not with the temporary illusion offered by the addiction, but with genuine, internally generated feelings. An internal void can only be truly filled by something internal, your own conscious creation of these positive emotional states. As you consistently replace the negative frequency associated with your void with positive, fulfilling frequencies, your internal state will shift. And as within, so without, your external reality will begin to reflect this change. You'll likely find that the triggers for your addiction lose their power, and your desire for the external crutch diminishes because you are now providing that feeling for yourself internally. The way you feel when you indulge in your addiction is a clue to the positive emotional state your void is actually craving. Use your mind to consciously create experiences that generate those same positive feelings without resorting to the addiction. You're essentially giving yourself what you were seeking externally. While the metaphysical work is crucial, don't neglect the physical aspects of overcoming addiction. Continue to take practical steps, but understand that their effectiveness will be greatly amplified when aligned with your shifted energetic frequency. You can't outrun your frequency with physical action alone. Your inner state must lead the way. Your state of being, your dominant energetic frequency, is more powerful than your actions. Before you can become someone who is no longer addicted, you must first be that person in your mind and in your emotional state. There will likely be times when you slip and engage in your addiction. How you react in those moments is critical. If you feel guilt, shame, frustration, you are essentially providing the very negative emotions that the addiction entity uses as glue to stick to you. Instead, strive for neutrality. Detach from the negative self-talk. See it as a temporary detour, not a complete failure. Don't reinforce the addiction with negative emotional energy. Finally, recognize the power of your identity. So long as you identify as an addict or someone with an addiction, you are perpetuating that reality on the mental plane, the realm of cause. You need to begin to disassociate from that identity and align yourself with the feeling and the thought of being someone who is free from addiction. Think from the perspective of your desired reality, the reality where you are no longer bound by this. Express gratitude for that freedom now, even before it fully manifests physically. The universe responds to your dominant frequency. By embodying the feeling of freedom, you signal to reality that this is your new state of being, and the physical will eventually align. Overcoming addiction is a multifaceted journey that requires addressing the energetic and metaphysical roots as much as the physical manifestations. By understanding addiction as an entity attached to a void, altering your perception, tracing the origin of that void, consciously recreating and re-emotionalizing past experiences, and shifting your identity to one of freedom, you can begin to dismantle the hold of addiction and create a new reality where you are truly free.